I got so close to someone. I know this ain't love, but let me stay a while. And pull me closer tonight. Keep holding my hand. I know this ain't love, but let me stay the night. I said let me. It's the moon. I'm the sun in the world. I'm all. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Hello and welcome back to RSC _EU _B. That's the official Twitch link name, but we're here, we're on the B stream. We've started up the day. We missed out one series, but we're here, we're ready to go for the rest of the evening. We're here in the lower quarter-final for Jupiter's up against Newborn, and I'm here alongside a new face to the RSC. I'm alongside Zepcast. He's normally around the COD scene, but he's here, he wants to get into Rocket League. And how are you doing? I can't wait to get into this match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited to be here and get into this. You know, Rocket League is a very new territory for me. A game that I've really loved playing for many, many years and never really got into the whole competitive side of it, looking and getting to know how it works. So I just thought it was a perfect opportunity, you know, to expand into another game that I love so much, that has such a fantastic competitive scene and such a massive skill gap, to be able to go in and see these players and meet new people and cast with new people such as yourself. It's a terrific opportunity, and I'm just really looking forward to getting in and learning, because I'm not going to sit here and claim to be the expert. I have a lot to learn still when it comes to casting over Rocket League, and I'm sure I've lots to learn from the likes of yourself as well. So just really happy that I got the opportunity, really excited to get in and see these games.
It's a pleasure to be alongside you for this as well. There's no better time to join the RSC than at the playoff start in, I would say, league play. It's not league play. League play's finished. 9 weeks of league play, Zep, is what we've been through to get to this point where we're at now. And we've got Jupiter's against Newborn. Jupiter's took down the Palmists in 4 games, winning 3-1. And Newborn lost in the upper bracket to Rogue 3-1 in a similar scoreline. They meet here in the lower bracket on their final life. And I mean, I know you don't know too much about these teams, but what do you really expect coming into this game?
Well, as you say, I don't know too much, so it's hard to know what to expect. As you just say, it's kind of the final life, so to speak. So both of these teams are going to be playing like they have, well, I was about to say like they have nothing to lose, but they have everything to lose, because this could be it for them. So they got to go in, they got to play their best game. These teams surely are going to have gone in, made sure that they were warmed up before getting into this. I know with Rocket League, it's one of those games you really need to be warm before you get in and play an important game. So yeah, both of these teams going to be hopefully coming in warm, trying to get control of the game early, dominate the map, hold the right positions, just play the right way, do the basics right, and then go forward from there and try and take the win. Oh, I really couldn't predict this. First Rocket League cast, you throw me on the spot with the predictions. I'm completely clueless in terms of predicting this, but that's I'm completely ignorant in that regard. But that's what makes it exciting for me. I have no idea what to expect coming into this, and I cannot wait for it to get started. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting and fascinating to see how this game goes. I mean, so far, it's as you'd expect, both teams just fighting it out, trying to get control of the ball up in the air. I mean, I'm still in awe sometimes of watching Rocket League players and the way that they play. You sometimes maybe think when you're playing yourself, I'm actually doing a good job, and then you see some of these top-tier Rocket League players play, and it really makes you realize, wow, I have a lot left to learn. Oh, it looks like that shot's going to go in from Toxic 911. Yeah, it was very good the way that they played. They were just letting them hold it in the box, you know, waiting for their opportunity. And then as soon as there was just a heavy touch, Toxic comes in there, rifles it in. A very good shot early on to take this early lead. Yeah, they definitely got to go in and try and make sure that even if they don't get another goal straight away, that they just start to show their dominance quite quickly, because the ball is spending a lot of time in this half, so they are in danger of just having the game stagnating in their half. They need to push out like they're doing right now with this fantastic opportunity with Morrow.
Finally, my voice does get onto the stream, as I've only just noticed myself, but I hope you've enjoyed Zep's wonderful talking to himself. But I'm here, I'm ready to go. Maurice does get a touch outside, looking, again, to try and get this newborn offense going. They need to find a response. As I say, they wanted to find it fast, but you guys didn't hear that, so I'll say it once again for good measure. They need to find some kind of response. They've got two minutes gone in this game, haven't really got anything going, and they've been tested well and truly.
Yeah, definitely been tested so far, but I mean, only one goal in it, so it doesn't matter, you know, how long they're in the lead. It can all change within the space of just a couple of seconds. So, you know, one team is going to be looking to shore it up, the other team is going to be looking to make a comeback, and as I said, they're maybe in a position to make a comeback. Another goal conceded, and what a nice goal at that.
Exactly that. Jakuziak got the shot in, got it straight over Morrow into the top right corner. Newborn need to find a response, but potentially it might not be coming in game number 1. They're going to have to adapt, overcome. They've still got over half the game left. That could be a third. It's destined towards the bottom right corner. Toxic bundles it into the back of the net off of the kickoff. And Newborn, it's really fallen apart since dropping to the lowers.
Yeah, I mean, I got to give a lot of praise to Toxic there, because I love seeing players do that, where they just chase down the ball. You know, even if it's not going to go in, they're going to get themselves in a position where if it's cleared out, they can maybe get a deflection goal, as he just did there. A true poacher's goal, that. And now with this lead, with nearly over half of this game gone, unless things are switched up very, very quickly, it might be too little too late in game 1.
It could well be. Again, still over half the game left. 3 goals, not an easy feat to try and overcome, but they're going to have to do it should they want to take this game on. Toxic looking for a fourth, finds a fourth for Jupiter's. They're running riot on Manfield 9.
Yeah, Jupiter's, you know, really on the Toxic on the hat trick here at the moment, should I say. I mean, they're really starting to show their dominance. At the beginning, it was very cagey early on, primarily staying in that half of the field. But then once they got their opportunity, they started taking the goals, and maybe a little fortunate from time to time. But ultimately, in a game like Rocket League, you make your own luck as well. And now they kind of just sat the momentum of the other team, and it's really looking like a truly dominant performance now.
Jupiter's got sent to the lowers themselves on Monday night. They do not want to be going home early once again. Bernard Hills does get bumped on the goal line. Potential for a shot from Morrow doesn't come through for Newborn. 2 minutes left in this game. Again, 4 goals, not easy to surpass, but they've got time. Do you think they'll be able to do it? Probably not.
Yeah, most likely not, but again, you've seen weirder things happen in Rocket League. Momentum can shift so quickly, and even like Toxic there just missing an open goal. And if one team can start missing open goals, then the other team can start scoring goals. You know, that's just how Rocket League works. So yeah, the clock is running. If they're going to do it, well, I was about to say if they're going to do it, but Toxic very quickly correcting his mistake, coming in there with a fantastic finish. And yeah, 4 goals would have been near impossible. I think 5 goals might be.
You say weirder things have happened. Toxic somehow whiffs an open net, and then that calamity in defense from Newborn. 5 goals to Jupiter's in game 1, and this is where you think, you know, Newborn, do you think they've got a chance in this series, let alone this game? This game probably well and gone at this point considering the circumstances, but do you think they've got a fighting chance in this series then?
They definitely do, depending on their mindset going into the rest of these games, because it happens a lot in a lot of other games that I've casted as well, where you can reach a point where it's like, right, you've been beaten in game 1, so you have to treat the rest of game 1 as preparation for game 2. You know you've lost this one, no matter what you do, that score isn't really changed, and you're still going to be 1 game down. However, it'll affect your mentality going in. It's like, right, are we going to get dominated, have our confidence sapped going into the rest of the games, or are we going to start showing what we could do towards the end of this game, getting some things together, getting momentum going, and then going into that second game, giving yourself a good chance of pushing forward for it? So still very early on here, despite the hefty loss on the score. But yeah, it's a mental game for them here.
It's precisely that. They've got opportunity, and they need to create some opportunities to try and cut this deficit down a little bit. It won't surpass to the amount of this game. They won't be able to take this game on, but they can surely prove what they can do as MB87 trying to find a flip reset, trying to find 1 goal for Newborn to prove they've got the capabilities to surpass or to surmount this Jupiter's defense, but it hasn't happened so far. But in all credit to Jupiters, they've been really good. The offense has been good, the defense has been better. They've shut out this newborn side in game 1, and it doesn't seem like it's happening for the team in pink.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to give credit as well to Toxic, definitely been the MVP of this game. Not only with the goals that he scored, but the way he's kind of controlled the ball and let the clock run down in certain instances. I mean, they're the prodigy, 4 goals and 1 aerial goal as well. A very nice aerial goal at that. We've seen like a clip or two of him just managing to take the ball and ship it over the opposition from time to time, just flip reset it, take it up a wall, whatever it may be. He's just clearly a player that feels confident with the ball, and he's going to be the one to stop.
Could well be, but we've still got loads of Rocket League left. Still so much time for Newborn to try and collect themselves and get ahead into this series, but what do you reckon they need to change in order to do that?
I think Newborn, to go forward in the series and start performing better, it has to be baby steps. They can't go in and think, right, we got to change so much up about our game to win. It's got to be step by step. You got to first say, right, what is actually going wrong that's putting the opposition team in a position to score all these goals? And that is just possession. The ball is constantly in Newborn's half. They're really struggling to get it out, and then when they do, it's more of a counter-attacking threat that Jupiters do a really good job of shutting down. They got to move that ball further up the pitch, and then from there just start working out how to actually get by them, whether it's hitting a ball earlier, taking it in an unexpected angle. But as I said, the most important thing for them at the moment is to just make sure that they can get up to the other side of the pitch. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know much about the Rocket League, the devs and the issues that certain maps have. So again, it's all new to me. You be the expert if there's issues. I trust your opinion and your knowledge of the fact that there are issues. But we just gotta hope that whatever issues there are, it doesn't affect the players, and that they're gonna be ready to go, get into the game, and not have to worry about those things.
Turn this one around, 1-0 to the blue side as it stands. As kickoff coming through, a kickoff goal could really turn the momentum in sides and in favour for Newborn. As Maurice down this right hand flank trying to find some kind of shot, destined potentially to that top left corner, but couldn't find the shot, couldn't find it on target.
I mean, this is instantly a change-up that we're seeing. They're getting to the ball quick, getting it up the pitch and trying to be dominant, taking it from corner to corner. And even look at Morrow there with a nice flip over. They instantly seem to be being more aggressive here, which is going to be something that will need to be counteracted fairly quickly, or else we could see Newborn get the first goal.
Indeed, we couldn't. They're going to have to, but potentially this one off the left-hand post couldn't be bundled into the net again by Toxic. Banana Peels keeping up the pressure for Jupiters. Newborn don't want to be stuck in this position for long. We've seen what happens when they have been constantly under threat, as Banana Peels again taking one touch. M8 getting one hit up into the sky. Toxic potentially setting up a chance for Jay Kuziak, but it's denied away by Morrow. They need to counter-attack. They need to get some kind of effort, but Maurice flies past this one. M8 off of the right-hand corner, gets a great demo, allows a shot for Maurice off the crossbar, couldn't find the net. That one really needed to go in.
Yeah, really unfortunate that didn't go in. But a massive difference, again, we're seeing here is, first of all, we're seeing Jupiters really good at the counter-attacking game. And what a goal there by Toxic as well. I was just about to say, they're playing really well at the counter-attacking game so far, which is something they did not need to do in game number 1. And Toxic has been brilliant at taking that ball forward. And this time he takes the shot, and maybe could have been a little better attempt at a save there. But ultimately, Toxic won't care. He puts it in the back of the net. It's 1-0 to them.
And we were trying to praise Newborn for how well they've came out in game number 2. It's something different. They've shown a little bit of offense. This one potentially goal for Morrow, but Jupiters again coming out on top, finding a save, finding a goal as well previously, wanting to find a second potentially through Jay Kuziak, keeping up the offense, not wanting to let down. They are relentless in trying to find pressure. They want a second goal.
Yeah, but to be fair, as we said, we were trying to give Newborn credit before that first goal. They are playing better here. They are playing more aggressive, but maybe that suits Jupiters because they want to start playing a counter-attacking game now. And as it looks like they're going to score another, they do. Jay Cusack with a fantastic goal. And I think the key difference that we've been seeing here in this series of games so far is that, Jupitus look like they're passing to each other, whereas Newborn just look like they're hitting the ball. And anyone who plays Rocket League know that there's a massive difference in that than hitting it up blindly and then knowing where you're putting it. They're propping up balls for someone else to come in and get a touch on. It's just everything they hit is more dangerous so far than Newborn.
Exactly. It seems like Newborn don't really lack. It's the exact opposite of that. They lack any kind of cohesion. They're not really linking up together. They need to start doing that. Potential goal for Maurice. That one skied high and wide back behind him. M87 down off the ceiling, wanting to find a second touch, but not really going anywhere. Over to his teammate Maro on the opposite flank. Off the ceiling, looking for a hit. Past Toxic. Gets it. Off the corner, Jay Cusack needing to hit this one out. They don't want any chances. They want to make sure Newborn are completely shut out of this game and potentially this series.
Yeah, well, you made a great point there in that he managed to hit the ball past Toxic, and while that's still another fantastic goal from Toxic, and again, I do think we're seeing just a gulf in quality here. A key thing for Newborn to try and start doing now, because again, it is far from over from them. Even this game 2 might be beginning to look out of sight, but they still have time. Newborn have to start trying to bait the enemy team into doing mistakes. They need to get Toxic to go for a ball and miss it. They need to start propping up in a dangerous way where they can then tap it past, because so far, even whenever they do get close to the goal, like in this instance, they've actually managed to score. But on 99% of the time they've hit a ball like that, the person who's been holding the goal line has been able to defend it quite easily. So the fact they've got that goal is a big plus. But I still think they need to start knocking players out of position if they want to try and get a shot on goal.
But what an angle that was for Maurice to somehow find a way into the net. A second goal here could really surmount a comeback, but off of the top right corner, it's got to end up in the back of the net. Toxic should have found a touch, but Maurice, I said in game 1, he was known for a notable own goal every now and again. The last one was forced at him and it went in. This one, he just flicked it into his own net.
Yeah, well, I think he was trying to flip it up there. Again, you got to go for the poaching technique of Toxic there and how he chased it down. He was probably afraid if he hit it to the right that it might clip off Toxic and go into that bottom corner. So even just the very presence of Toxic, or I believe it was Toxic up there at that moment, in that instance was enough to cause that own goal. So again, very good play, should I say, from Jupitus. And now it looks like any chance of a comeback in this game has been wiped out for Newborn.
I'm not sure what has happened to this Newborn roster. They won the pre-season tournament about 9 weeks ago. They've made some roster changes, all for the better. They finished top in league play, potentially one of the giants falling out early here in RSC Prospect.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things. It's all a mental game. It doesn't matter how good you are as a player. I mean, we see it in so many esports games. You could be one of the best players in the world, but if you're just not switched on that day, it'll cost you big time, which I think is what makes the esports in general so entertaining compared to, football or whatever it may be. Great players can have a bad day and still put on a show, but in esports, if your player has a bad day, the rest of your team feels it. And, again, I haven't been watching through the entirety of this league. You're in more of the know than I am, but it certainly does feel like that this team has completely lost their way.
It really does. They've got a minute left if they want to try and take this game 2. Otherwise, they'll be on match point against them. Jay Kuziak popping this one up, trying to get it over M8A7. Been really good. The offense of this Jupiter's team, like we say, they've got cohesion, they're linking up, they're creating plays. This one missed out by Jay Kuziak, allows a shot from Banana Peels. M8 gets a touch away, needing to surmount something in defense, try and find some different ways to get the ball out high and wide past this Jupiter's offense, as Bernard Peels allowed another shot. This one redirect pass to Jay Kuziak, 50 away from Maro DK, allows another shot to come through from Toxic, finds yet another goal, finds the hat-trick, finds the 5th for Jupiter's.
Jupitus honestly have just really, really dominated this last minute or so, and the way that they're passing the ball and the awkward shots that they're creating is just so good to watch. They're doing what they've done in game 1, which is not only controlling the opposition's half, but they just have complete control of the halfway line, pinging it across the halfway line, setting it up for each other until they find a little crack in the armor and just expose that completely. It's a complete dominant performance now, and I think the morale of Newborn has been completely sapped at this point.
They're going to have to find something. They need to find a second win. They're going to be facing match point. They're going to be facing the all-beloved reverse sweep. But the way this series has been going, they need something big, something really massive. That one, not in the back of the net. That could have been a little bit of hope heading into game 3, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be their day.
Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, they know in the back of their minds that that was going to be a goal. So they can turn around their own minds and say, hey, we were going to get a goal there. So, I mean, they know they can score. What they've managed to prove, Newborn, in this game is that Jupitus are human, that they can score goals, they can expose mistakes. So, yeah, a reverse sweep is what it has to be. And to be honest, it looks like it would be a bit of an unlikely reverse sweep. But it would certainly be an entertaining one, and one that I'm sure would shock many people watching, given the way that these games have gone. But again, you got to give credit to the entire team of Jupitus, and credit to Toxic in particular, he's been the poacher, been the finisher, he's always been there, but the rest of his teammates have been setting him up so well, and just as a unit, Jupitus seem to be so dominant.
Yeah, Toxic and the rest of his team have really stepped up here. Where it matters most, if you lose the series, you go home. That's what potentially could be happening to Newborn as we put 5 minutes back on the clock, heading over.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there was a point where it would have been a shock for them just to get a goal, which, is really surprising given that, as you say, if you're going to get a result, it has to be now. But do you think Newborn would be playing with not even a little bit more aggression up front, but a little more cautiousness in the defense? We've seen whenever a shot has come in from Jupiter's, mind you, all their shots have been very, very good, but Newborn have been really struggling to get up there and block them. So definitely something that they need to work on, Newborn. They need to try and up their defensive game in terms of actually getting to these balls and then start going forward and maybe trying to nick a goal. If they're going to win this win this game, it's not going to be a trouncing. It's going to be a 1-0 or a 2-0 at best.
I'd have to disagree with that. I would say it's going to be a 3-2, 4-3 game. It would have to be an absolute blow-up just because of how shaky this Newborn defense has been. They have not been able to keep out this Jupitus roster at all. There haven't been periods where we've even said, hey, it's been really good defense from Newborn, but they've somehow, every single time they've somehow been able to scramble the ball away and keep it out of their own defense. They're going to need to take a lead. A first goal here for Newborn could be absolutely crucial in turning this boat around.
Yeah, Newborn definitely need to get the first goal. But I just think for Jupitus, as they look to get that shot, and then even that shot there, not the best shot by any means, but Newborn looks so shaky on the defense with it. Definitely seemed to be a lack of communication there as to who was going to go for the ball to clear it out. But I just think if this Jupitus team starts scoring again, I think they're just going to have free reign in scoring. I think the only way that Newborn get into this is just to kind of shut down Jupitus and sap a little bit of their momentum, because it's clear at the moment they're playing like a team who has full momentum and confidence.
It's exactly that. They're playing like that, and they've been showing it throughout this series so far. Maurice, a touch off of the corners. Been a lot better again, to be fair, to this Newborn roster. That one pinged off of the crossbar was a great demo on the back line in order to open up the space. This one, whiffed out by Maurice, allows a touch from M87 over to his teammate Maro, but opens up the back lines. Could be a potential shot for Jupiter's. Great defending from Maro, but potentially not able to keep out Toxic again. Great defending. That's a whiff on the goal line for Maro, but Jupiter's unable to capitalise.
Yeah, I mean, that was certainly hectic with some good shots coming in as well from Jupitus, but Newborn came up with some vital pieces of defence. And here we are 2 minutes in this game. Jupitus have not gotten on the scoreboard yet. Sure, they look the more dangerous, but at the end of the day, you only need to nick a goal, and Jupitus are going to try and get more and more aggressive because they know they only need one more game to win this. So Newborn are going to have things to expose. They just got to make sure they do it now.
Indeed, this could be a potential infield pass. Looking for Morrow, gets the pass over. M87 gets a redirect. It was unorthodox, but it was absolutely brilliant for Newborn. They found the first goal, Zep, but they're gonna need to hang on to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about now just focusing on that defense. But what a goal that was. We mentioned in the middle of game 2 that the difference seemed to be that Jupitus were passing, whereas Newborn were just hitting. Well, that was a fantastic passing move from Newborn to get in there. And yeah, the finish was a little unorthodox. It wasn't exactly the perfect move in the end up, but ultimately it worked out for the best.
Well, Newborn, they've proved that they can keep out Jupiter's for almost half of this game. They've got the other half to go, and they will get a point on the board. M87 off of the corner, looking for somebody in the midfield. Maro up for it, can't find the shot. This one's off the opposite corner as Jupiter's cleared their back lines, coming off of Maurice over to the left hand side, looking for a teammate, but 50s with Jake Kuziak in the midfield. This one pinched potentially to the top right corner, but not on target in the end. That one potentially goal bound if it was on target.
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly just a tight game now. It's really turned into a nail biter, but this could be a fantastic shot from MA. But no, as you see, the defense coming in there from Banana Peels, I believe it was. What a good defense as well. And that's something that they've been doing really well all game, and why Newborn have been struggling to score is that when Newborn have those opportunities, usually there's someone on the side of Jupiter sitting really, really deep, ready to capitalize on the fact that the shots coming in from Newborn haven't been the most powerful. So if they keep that up, Newborn aren't going to score another one, and maybe they can go forward and draw this one at least, take it to an overtime.
I would say as well, Newborn haven't really had that many chances, so we haven't really been able to credit the sheer power of this Jupiter's defense. But Newborn really coming out of their shell in this game 3, where it matters the most. Again, just to re-emphasize it, if they lose this game, that's it, season done. No trophy, no nothing, you are gone. So they really needed a result, and it seems like they're stepping up. They've got a minute left to keep out Jupiter's.
Yeah, I mean, they've just improved really in every game, even though Jupiter's has still been so dominant. Game number 1 was just a complete trouncing. They weren't really doing anything right. And then, I'm interrupted because Toxic is finally in there. And again, you look at Newborn. I said that their defense had to rely on having someone back nearly at all times sitting on that goal line, similar to what Jupiter's were doing. And Toxic just had a free run in there, a complete lapse in concentration in the defense for Newborn. And I was about to praise Newborn again, but that mistake could have cost them.
It really, really could, but they're on, I would say they're on the back foot again. They're not, they're in a tie game, but it feels like they're on the back foot. They know they've conceded a goal, they know they are up against the pressure. This one, top left shot, rebounded back into the net by Banana Peels, 49 seconds left, and Newborn seem to have crumbled.
Well, what did I say before we're going into this one? That if Jupiter's found themselves scoring at least one, they were going to open the floodgates. And Newborn done a great job of defending there for a good amount of time, but just a combination of awkward balls and not being put in the right position has just cost them. And with Newborn having worked so hard to get that goal that could have potentially won them this game, they've conceded 2 relatively easy goals, all things considered.
They really have, but they need to find themselves one more in order to force an overtime, otherwise they are going home. Maurice pops it up, Toxic capitalizes on the opportunity. Morrow popping it up again, it's really risky in the defense of Newborn, whiffs all over the place. Jay Kuziak's shot is denied away by Maurice, 20 seconds left for Newborn to capitalise. Morrow sending this one upfield, looking for the pass infield, potential shot denied away by Banana Peels, sends it up on this right hand side wall, looking for Jay Kuziak, potential pinch goalwards. Maurice needs to take care of this one. Toxic, the last man back for Jupiter, clears it over to the left hand side, back into his own centre, shots over the bar, no one able to follow. Jay Kuziak slams this one hard and away. M87 might not be able to keep it up. It's pinched away by Jay Kuziak, down in the centre. Jupiter's ball hits the ground. They win the series 3-0 and will be advancing. Newborn, their season is over.
Yeah, well, you just got to give massive credit there to Banana Peels, because again, when Newborn had the chance to get that goal, Banana Peels was just sitting on the line ready for the defend. The first shot from Newborn, really, with directly someone defending on goal, that actually seemed to have a bit of power in it. A shot that would make it difficult to save. And Banana Peels, just because he was set up in the right position, still did manage to save it. I think Newborn really shot themselves in the foot in that game, because I was about to talk about before they conceded the first goal about how game number 1 they were completely all over the place, couldn't get a foothold in any area of the pitch. In game number 2, still really struggled on defense, but managed to up their aggression on offense, so they at least looked dangerous. They got that first goal and very, very nearly got that second goal. It was practically over the line, but of course the whistle blew on the game. And then going into this game number 3, not only did they keep up that aggressive offense, but they managed to shut Jupiter's down on the defense a little bit. There were some whiffs left, right and center, as you said, but ultimately they kept the ball from going in the net, and that is what matters. And then just as he hit that minute 30 mark, Jupiter's just found that virtually open goal, but Jupiter's managed to get through with Toxic, and then from there it was just a quick another goal, and Newborn did not look like they had a chance to get back into it.
All credit though to Newborn. It was a lot closer, game 3. They surmounted the 5-1, the 4-1, brought it down to 2-1 game, led the game for pretty much most of the game. It was only that final minute where they did start to crumble. But if you crumble, that's it. You can't crumble in these situations. They did, and that is why they're going home, ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, they did crumble in the end up, as you say, but you're as that team, you're certainly going to go back to the drawing board and think, right, if we had played the rest of the series like we played that game 3, we were going to win some of those games. So why did we start off game one the way that we did? Were Jupiters just simply that unbeatable to begin with, and we just simply saw them take their feet off the gas pedal for game number 3? Or was it the case that Newborn didn't come in warm enough, they didn't come in feeling confident on their comms, and they didn't come in with strategies as to how to pick apart Jupiters? Ultimately, it seems like all three could be the case, because as Jupiters were passing it around, pinging it around to each other, having complete control of that halfway line and the opposition half, Newborn were just simply trying to stay in it for the most part. And as we say, we should give them a lot of credit for the way that they came back into it in game 3. But at the end of the day, it's 5 minutes a game. We've seen 15 minutes. We're about, for 12 minutes 30 of that, Jupiters were by far the better team. So Newborn have to look at it.
Well, Zeb, this is the beauty of Rocket League casting. It's the beauty of the playoffs. I guess we'll never know the answers to your questions, but we will know the answers to who is winning the Prospect Division later tonight. We've got loads more Rocket League up next. In half an hour's time, we'll be with you for Jupiters up against the winner of Dwarves and Fearless Echo. So don't go anywhere. Enjoy.
let me catch you. Don't let me catch you slipping by. Why do I get myself? Why do I get myself caught up in these lonely nights?
telephone. It's where I've been.
It's the moon. I'm the sun in the world. I'm more.
I'm feeling great. This has been a great bracket so far. I've seen some absolutely insane matches so far. I was fortunate enough to cast on the mainstream Dwarves versus Fearless Echo just gone, but we've seen some big results already. Some teams drop in that we didn't necessarily think would do, and I think this match in particular, Jupitus versus Fearless, that we'll see in a moment's time, it was what many people might have had as even an upper final, certainly not a lower semi-final. So one of these teams will be leaving shortly, and their playoffs will be over. So yes, elimination match, big important match up here. But I think the key here for Fearless Echo is they're back to full strength. Yeah, hopefully so. I think hopefully we see all 5 games here. I think these two teams have shared 22 wins in league play. The head-to-head is close as well. I think it's 5-3 in favour of Jupitus during the league season as well. So these two teams should know each other fairly well. It's just how much warm-up has Shades had? How much influence can he have from what should be relatively cold? He definitely hasn't been involved in any scrims or anything pre this match. So that's going to be an interesting one to see. If he can warm up into this series early, then Fearless Echo might start to pull away, because Din and Jez showed in the last game that they can really step up to the plate here.
They really, really can. They're going to have to do it once again. But I believe we're just about ready to get into this.
Oh, it's an interesting decision that from Fearless, whether they don't feel like they want to play Shades straight away or whether he's not quite ready. But it's the same roster that took to the field against Dwarves and performed very well. There's an early miss coming out, and that gives Banana Peels an early goal. What happened here? Banana just hits the ball up speculatively from distance. Jez is up, but just misses the ball. That's an awkward start to the series for Fearless, but a welcome 1 goal for Jupitus. Fair enough. We've got some issues on Potter's audio, so he's just going to fix that. So I will carry this to begin with. Jay Kuziak getting a bit bumped off the back wall here, but Banana's there to cut that rotation early, and there's no third man back for this Fearless team. So they look to regain right from the back, their back third. And there's some early bumps coming in, some aggression, some intent from this Jupitus team that have taken apart 2 teams so far in this bracket, two teams that would be seen to be very dangerous. I personally had Palmis down as a bit of a dark horse for this bracket, so they've taken those guys down and they've swept Newborn. So clearly they're on a tear. They feel it today, Jupitus, and they want to make amends for dropping into the lower bracket during the play-ins earlier this week. But so far, the pressure's all really been on this Fearless team, looking to make a play out here. Jay Kuziak looking to play the ball up off the backboard, but Demo Monkey's there, just misses it, but Jay Kuziak can't find the touch. And Jez is looking to make the clear. Makes a nice little touch over one, past Toxic off the backboard. Is his teammate there to read it? Din with a bit of a weak shot, allowing Jay Kuziak to come in and get the clear. And a nice 50 gets the ball well into this Fearless side. And are you back, Potter?
Indeed, I am. Again, very tight affair ever since that first goal. Fearless Echo not finding anything to reap their rewards. Great demo on the goal line. Could open it up a shot for Jez, but Banana Peels, I saw him last series casting. He was doing such a good job. The whole Jupiter's defense was doing a great job as they swept aside Newborn. Their defense really holding strong as it does here in game 1 against Fearless Echo also.
Absolutely. There's some good touches here from Jay Kuziak early. He said he was nervous in the chat, and, well, what happened here? Jay Kuziak with the touch here, and Din just makes a lovely touch, just beats Jay Kuziak to the ball and snipes the top corner. What a shot by Din, tying the game up there, just as we were talking about how Jupiters were looking very solid. That's what it's going to take to score against them in defence this time, with Din finding a lovely shot into the top bins, and that ties up this series. And with 2 minutes gone, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. This really could go either way. Both teams look like they've come to play. There's aggression, there's intent from both teams, and that's exactly what we want to be seeing in this elimination stage of the playoffs.
This ball going to be picked up by Jay Kuziak, trying to drive it forward. Jez there. A save on the goal line keeps out Jupiter's for now. Toxic trying to keep the pressure going through. Could potentially get a touch onto the backboard, but then clears this one away. 50 with Banana Peels. Again, could allow another opportunity for Jupiter's to come through. It's a great 50. Banana Peels, not too much boost to work with as Dim clears this one over to the left-hand side. Trying to get it past Toxic, unable to do so. Jez will pick up the pieces and send this one down the left-hand flank. It's a great 50 in field, but nobody home other than Toxic. On the left-hand side, we're looking for somebody in the midfield. Banana Peels up for it, but it's beaten out by the Demo Monkey. As Toxic tried to send it through for Jupiters, could not find the touch. Banana Peels shot bottom right. That is one touch. That is one great hit to send your team into the lead once again.
Absolutely. I love what Banana Peels is doing in this game so far. Very aggressive in that second man rotation, not wanting to rotate all the way back, looking to find those touches in the midfield and gets rewarded for it. Jupiters take the lead, just over half the game gone. And so far, this game is living up to what we expected. Two titans of the prospect here battling it out in the lower semi-finals. And Demo Monkey getting 50'd out there. Jay Kuziak's everywhere on this field, looking for the touch, but can't quite find the angle for his own little touch off the backboard. And Toxic's coming again, recycling the ball, keeping the pressure on this Fearless side. And they're really struggling to get it clear. And that's a great little touch by Demo. Demo Monkey relieves some of the pressure, but he just hits it down to Jay Kuziak. And with the bump there, puts Din in a bit of an awkward position. Toxic just can't quite read the touch there, looking to intercept. But I love what this Jupiter side are doing so far. They're really amping the pressure up. And just as I say that, Banana gets his hat trick, doing the most in this game. Off the wall here, Din just can't quite reach it. And both Fearless players caught a little bit too high up on the rotation, and that is an open net and a hat-trick for Banana.
Banana Peels really stepping up, the leader for this Jupiter's roster, proving it in-game as well. And you start to question Fearless Echo, they've got Fearless Shades ready to come in if need be. They spoke to me about it pre-game as well to see if it was allowed to have a sub coming through mid-game, mid-series, which of course it is, but the potential arrival of Fearless Shades coming through in Game 2 must kind of quake this Jupiter's roster a little bit.
Absolutely, but you don't want to be 1 or 2 games down when you do that. You've got to, that sub's got to come in and it's got to change the game for you. You're potentially going into Game 2 here, a goal down, another dropped game here puts Jupiter's on triple match point. So you have to use the sub wisely, and I think it's an interesting decision from Fearless to not play Shades straight away and trust the wet roster there. Nearly gets the pinch touch into the net there for a fourth for Jupiter's, but it doesn't quite find the angle. And so far in this game, it's been all Jupiter's. The pressure has been mounting from them time and time again. The ball recycled back and forth into this Fearless half, and it's forcing them back, forcing them into saves. Banana's looking to disrupt Din, but can't quite get the touch. But here comes Jay Kuziak again. Just doesn't quite get the bump here, but they can't get it clear, this Fearless Echo team. They're really struggling to contain the offense being put out by Jupiter's.
Din sending this one long. They don't really have enough time to try and take this game 2, but they can get some momentum. Well, game 2, take this game 1, they can get some momentum behind them, get some confidence in their veins heading into game number 2, which they do. It's a great play. Din snipes this one into the top left. However, the result stays the same.
Absolutely, that's a confidence booster for, as you rightly called, not going to affect the outcome. Juventus take the game, a very good game 1 for them to take, and they're clearly continuing their impressive form in the bracket so far. But Shades sort of looms. The shadows are looming. What do Fearless Echo do now? Do they make the sub now? Do they go, we kept it fairly close? What would you do in this situation, Potter? Would you make the sub now if the sub is ready? Would you leave it for one more game, see if you can tie the series and make it a best of 3?
I suppose you have to look at it and say, the sub hasn't done much wrong. The Real Monkeys kind of stepped up. They lost to Limousine in 5, which is a completely fair result. You could expect that with the main roster as well. And then they come down to the lower bracket and they win their first series. So I wouldn't say they're being at fault. It's a 1-goal game here. I think they've got potential to turn it around with the sub as well.
I agree. I think Demo Monkey has really played very well, given that they've only played 17 games in the regular season. They've stepped in this playoffs. They've gone, as you said, 3-2 is not a sort of a very respectable score against Limousine, who are 1-0 up on the mainstream against Rogue in the upper final. It's clearly a very strong team, and they held their own. They took it to the game 5, so it'd be interesting to see if they continue to trust Demo Monkey. And Demo Monkey has played up to that trust so far, and has definitely not been at fault for really that much in the last 2 games that I've seen them play. So it's now just a case of, it looks like they're not going to make a substitution just yet. So we're back with the same rosters here, going into game 2, and we now see what's Fearless Echo's response. They got the last goal in that game, and now they just need to make sure they marshal some of these midfield touches coming out from Banana and Jay Kuziak, try and get that pressure out of their third quicker, because they let it mount for too long in that game 1. And Jay Kuziak looking to make the play off the backboard, looking for the double touch, but just can't quite find the top corner, and it's cleared with a bit of a double commit back into the middle for Banana, but it's well blocked out by Din, and this should be cleared by Jez into the middle, dropping. Is anyone going to read it? No. Toxic with the speculative touch forward, and now Banana looking to read it off the backboard, misses, but nobody from Fearless can quite read that and come in and punish the mistouch. And Din looking a little bit awkward there, but gets the challenge out, and Demo Monkeys are able to transition the ball forward with a nice 50 there on Jay Kuziak.
Almost a minute gone here in game number 2. Stuck at a deadlock, 0-0. Nobody breaking through just yet. Jay Kuziak looking for the ball read. Pops it over Jez. Can he get it over Demo Monkey? Gets it under Demo Monkey instead as Din pops this one high and wide past Toxic. Gets the reset, trying to pop it down to Jez, but pops it over Jez instead. Just wanted to use his reset for the sake of using his reset. It's a great pass from Banana Peels. Could not find Jay Kuziak through the smoke of that demo, as Jez could just be an open net, but Toxic cuts the rotation well, cuts across, gets the save. Din, full boost to work with, flicks it over one, looking for the bump on Banana Peels, unable to find it, allows an opportunity for Jez, but Banana Peels still carrying this one forward. Has been a real rock, real solidity, real figure for this Jupiter's roster, and really sending them forward so far.
Yeah, it's all been Banana in this game and this series so far, with 3 goals in game 1 and some really clutch defending there to stop the bump play from taking out, and they're giving an open net. But Jay Kuziak, the ball rolls up the post. Can Toxic finish? Yes, he can. And Jupiter's take the lead again for the 2nd game in a row. Jez just couldn't quite get the 50. The ball awkwardly rolling. Din trying the squishy save, doesn't quite work, and Toxic finds the bottom left corner. And it's all about now, can Fearless respond? Jupiters are putting them under pressure time and time again in this series. And that might be a kickoff goal there from Demo Monkey, but Banana again is in position. I feel like we're going to say his name a lot in this series, and he is doing the most for his team.
We've been speaking a lot about Banana Peels for Jupiters, but it really has been Toxic the one to step up in previous series, especially against Newborn last time around, finding the angles, finding the goals, creating opportunities. But Banana Peels really emerging from the back line and sending his team forward. They take yet another lead. Demo Monkey this time down the right hand flank. Toxic to keep this one away. Realistically, all Jupiters need to do at this point in the game is hang on, and they'll be taking game 2.
Absolutely. I think the Fearless need to take a few more chances, push a few more players forward. They were really in games 3 and 4 against Dwarves, they were really pushing the issue. Really, Din and Jez were playing some really nice touches together, and this was really solid finishes, punishing the just as I say that, there we go. Demo Monkey off the backboard to Jez. Oh, Din? No, yep. Demo Monkey off the backboard to Jez. Jez with a nice aerial finds the bottom right corner with Toxic unable to make the save in net. And just as I was saying, they need to look to find each other. That's exactly what they do. That backboard unguarded, and we have a tied game 2.
Indeed we do, but it's not going to be tied for very long. Banana Peels, off of the kickoff, regains that lead instantly for Jupiters. Right when you think there's a chance for Fearless to try and come back and surmount some pressure of their own. Doesn't seem like it's happening yet, but they've got 2 minutes 13 to respond.
You hate that when that happens, when you do so well to get the goal back and then you immediately give up the lead in the kickoff. It's got to hurt, and it comes down to mentality. It was just a poor kickoff from Echo, but now it's mentality for the team. They fought their way back. They know they can score, and that's a beautiful read by Toxic, finding that top corner. Banana passes to Jay Kuziak, finds the unguarded backboard, and Toxic from distance finds bar down and in, and it's a 2-goal lead. And that's even going to feel worse for this Fearless team. They just fought their way back into it, and only 20 seconds later, or even less than that, they're down 2 goals.
Potentially another kickoff goal, you think, coming through there for Toxic. It couldn't quite squeeze it past the last man. Fearless Echo, 2 minutes still to respond. They need to find 2 goals now. They haven't had the lead in this series, and they're going to need to take it should they want to get a point on the board at any point in this series. It's just this time off the corner, no one's going to be in the centre. Demo Monkey left as last, could just be into the back of the net, off the bottom right post. Demo Monkey just kind of running around the goal line like a headless chicken at this point, but Toxic finds the goal and finds the fourth for Jupiters.
It's unfortunate for Demo Monkey. Just gets lost, maybe a bit of ball cam, I don't know, but that's a bad goal to give up in this situation. Gives the 3-goal lead with about 90 seconds to go. But as you were talking about Toxic in the last series, he's stepped up in this game too. It's been the Toxic show, but all 3 players from Jupiters are playing lights out. They're clearly here to avenge the loss of the life in the play-ins on, was it Wednesday or was it Monday? Doesn't matter. They lost their life, and now they're down in the lower bracket, and they're keen to make the run, and they have turned up and played some excellent Rocket League in these 2 games so far, and they look like the team to beat. I don't know how Fearless are going to stop them, if I'm honest.
I suppose you could say they're not trying to relinquish the life by playing this well. They want revenge on that life. They want to go back, they want to get the bracket reset and try and take this trophy home. Banana Peel's potential to come back with his second, but they've still got Fearless in the way. Joe Kuziak popping this one up, Din to get it clear. 40 seconds, doesn't seem like it's going to be happening for them here in this game. Number 2, Toxic popping it high and wide. Din up for the shot. Jay Kuziak there should be able to clear this one away. Popped up again by Din. No one's going to be home. It seems like, especially Fearless Echo, it seems like they lack a little bit of cohesion. They don't know where the passes are coming through. They can't really link up with each other that well. But we know how they have been able to do it in the past. We've seen it in league play. We've seen how they can create chances and work so well with each other and the chemistry which they do have. But it doesn't seem like it's formatting here.
No, absolutely not. And even in the last series against Dwarves, those game 3 and 4, they were turning on the style at times with some of the passes and the aggression and the sort of drive-by demo attempts. As we see Jupiters take game 2 here with a very, very impressive show. It was Banana in game 1. It's very much Toxic in game 2, but all 3 players contributing across the scoreboard. And Fearless are going to take their timeout that they're allowed to take, so that gives them 2 minutes to talk things over. And yeah, they're going to have to figure something out here. And I think that's the key here. It's now using that time wisely. You've got to have a conversation with yourself now. Maybe they make the substitution here because you've got to change something. So you can't continue playing the way they are. Jupiters are going to take this in a sweep. So something's got to change. Somebody needs to step out and say, I think Shades can, if he's available to come in, needs to at this point, I think, just to change things up.
Suppose it'd be a different question, different game plan which Jupiters would need to try and come into game 3 about. If like as much as Fearless taking this time out as well, it can help Juventus. If they are to bring in Shades, then there's potential for Juventus to be asking, if these guys are going to bring in Shades, how are we going to counter that? What is our plan next if Shades is to enter in this lobby now? We know what he can perform. We've seen it in league play, we've seen it against us, we've seen it against other teams, but how is this going to affect us right now in this moment as well? You have to think the mentality of Shades coming into this game. He's coming in with his team on his last life. Is it like Shades maybe doesn't want to come in because he would, if they lose this game, it's like, oh, you know what, it's been close with you, you could have won it. I don't want to be the issue for us dropping out here, maybe not performing and, you know, selling out really where Fearless have been the predicted champions most times.
Yeah, absolutely. With a reverse sweep on the cards, what's really critical here is it's the mentality. It's taking one game at a time and not getting too far ahead of yourselves. But it looks like we're going to be straight into game 3 here. A bit prematurely for the timeout. They had 2 minutes. They don't choose to take all of it, which is interesting. But we are seeing Shades in the lobby now. Demo Monkey has left, and now what this Fearless team got, you've got to take this one game at a time. Juventus have triple match point here. Any win sends them through to the lower final. So Fearless, one game at a time, get that early lead with Shades in the team, and you'll start to see maybe some confidence from this team. But it's be very interesting to see how this game starts. It starts off with a bit of Jupiter's pressure coming out early, but Jez with a nice read there. Jay Kuziak's down, but that should be read nice and easily by Din here, who can look to get the demo. He does. And Jez able to transition into the third. Down there, Shades is up just a little bit too early there, trying to preempt the touch across. Doesn't quite get it, and Juventus can clear.
Well, confidence will really come through for either of these teams, whether it's Fearless, hey, you know what, we can turn this around, we've got a roster change, we can turn it around, we can really try and bring it to this Jupiter's roster. Or is it going to be Jupiter that say, hey, we can sweep this, we didn't really expect to sweep Fearless Echo, but it's really in our hands, and that's going to be answered when this first goal does come in for either team. Jez, 100 boost, just flips past the ball, allows Shades to go for it, gets it past one, off the ceiling. We've seen this all before, gets the touch, not able to get it past Toxic though, who clears it away, looking for Jay Kuziak in the midfield. Pressure coming through the for Fearless Echo. We will instantly see these players, the passes starting to connect. Great read from Jez to challenge this ball and get a 50 over to Jay Kuziak in the corner, really starting to pen back this Jupiter side, and it won't be it'll be a matter of probably seconds until we start seeing shots flying towards the Jupiter's net.
I think you're absolutely right with the about passes connecting. Can Shades get back? Yes, he can. Oh, that was a bit of a close one there on the back line. A nerve tester for the Fearless team, but it's now about finding each other now. It's finding those plays, building possession and pressure in your opponent's third, looking for those infield passes, because they're capable of doing that. We've seen this all season from this team. And now they've got their full strength roster out. It's about connecting that together, and you've only got one game to do it, because if you lose that game, you're out. So there's pressure on this. Of course there is, and we're seeing Toxic with a nice pass infield there. Banana can't quite find the angle there, but makes it a little awkward for Shades here, who's going to bait the challenge out from Jay Kuziak very nicely, slow playing it off the wall with half boost. Jez is up to rehash the ball. Shades is down in the middle, but Jay Kuziak's there. Nice little pass there, not read by his teammates. Jay Kuziak gets the ball into the net, off the transition, the counter attack. The ball across wasn't good enough from Shades, and Jay Kuziak, with a bit of almost a bump from his teammate, finds the touch pass, the scrambling defense, and half the game gone. Jupiter's take the lead, and the pressure has just ramped up on this Fearless side.
I really thought that Toxic was going to mess that one up for Jay Kuziak, and he wouldn't be able to recover and get back to hit the shot into the back of the net, but it did happen. Jupiter's take the lead here. Just over half the game gone here. Still plenty of time for Fearless Echo to come back into it, but they haven't really shown what they can do, what Shades can do. They've had chances. What a save from Jez on the goal line to really keep their team in it, and that can be the spark which sends them forwards.
Oh, a save. You thought for the world that was going in the bottom right corner for Juventus, but Jez coming out with the clutch save. As you say, is that the spark that's required? It's only a goal down. Any goal here in the next 1 minute 44 could take this game to overtime, and then anything can happen. But Fearless just need to build some pressure in this Jupiter's third. They've barely been here all game. I think that some speculative passes across net, not picked up by their teammates, but they've really struggled to maintain pressure and possession, and that misfire from Fearless Shades invites some more pressure from Jay Kuziak, but he just gets beaten to it by Jez. But they can't follow up, and Toxic gets the clear again. And that's touchdown. Toxic with the bumps, Banana with the touch across, and he's beaten Jez. That's open net by Jay Kuziak, but Jez gets the recovery, and again with the second clutch save, just about keeping his clean. They're clinging on with their fingertips to this playoff run. Can they get the goal that ties the series up?
This series seems like it's only going one direction, and it is all blue ahead. So many chances coming through for this roster. Fearless need to break out, get some offense together. They've got just less than a minute to respond and find one singular goal. Din could be the answer to their prayers. Fearless Shades couldn't bundle it into the back of the net. It could be a chance for Jay Kuziak to break and just stall time, try to pop it over Jez, does so successfully, looking for a bump onto Din, gets it, no shot coming through for Banana Peels, but Toxic hits one into the corner. All they need to do is play safe and not overextend. 2 men behind the ball at all costs should be what Jupiter's play at this point. That one over the bar. I was going to say this about 2 minutes ago, but if Jupiter's find a second goal, then it is all over.
Oh, it's definitely all over now with 10 seconds to go. Banana Peel off the backboard, just about gets the read. Some nervy moments for Jupitus in this final 10 seconds, but the ball is at the wrong end for this Fearless team. They're going to have to clutch this on 0 seconds, and they can't do it. Jupitus take the sweep. A rather unexpected sweep, it must be said. But they continue their run, their impressive run through this lower bracket. Jupitus only dropping 1 game out of the 9 played so far this evening, and they are looking a force to be reckoned with. I wouldn't want to play this team right now in this form, and they are going to really challenge whoever comes down from the lower bracket.
They are really, really coming into fruition at this point in the day, but that could just be, we don't have the eyes on us here. We're on the B stream, most people watching the content over on the main stream. Next series is where it starts to heat up. They'll be taking on, I believe it is the loser of Limousine versus Rogue. I'm not too sure how that series is going on, but when that series comes through, it's going to be an absolute spectacle to see who comes out on top in that.
I think Limousine have just won it 3-1, I believe, or maybe it's 3-0. I think it might have been a 3-0 sweep as well. So yeah, I think we're done on both streams here. I think we've had some game 5s. We were treated to that early on. But now we're starting to see a few sweeps, but this Jupitus team are looking really strong. I could definitely see them making their way into the grand finals, but needing that bracket reset to win it all. Yeah, we've got that confirmation there on the screen. Limousine swept Rogue, and Jupitus will play Rogue in that lower final, and the winner will then have to bracket reset a very strong-looking Limousine side. A Limousine side that swept Jupitus in those play-ins to send them to the lower bracket. So there's a chance for revenge we talked about as well from the Jupitus side. They'll be hungry for it. And on this form, I wouldn't bet against it. Oh, I don't know. Abdul and Nature in the Limousine squad. Abdul getting 100 goals in league play. Nature being a very strong prospect player when he's on his game. Yeah, and only having to win 1 best of 7. You can't look past Limousine, but that revenge factor for Jupitus, I don't think is enough to win 2 best of 7s. So I think we have to say Limousine are the favourite here, but. I'm looking forward to Rogue versus Jupitus coming up next on the mainstream. I think that could be a very interesting game, and I can see Jupitus making the final and getting our chance at revenge.
Well, that is going to be it for us here on the B stream. As Davey says, all the action going on now on the mainstream, so we'll be rating them very, very shortly. But before we leave, take a look at our merch. Thank you, good night, enjoy the rest of the day.
what you think. No, I don't need you, I just got caught up, baby. We can blame it on the timing, but you know that you probably gon' be better off without me. We can blame it on the timing, but you know